Hey everyone, it's been a minute, but I am back here to work on the 1977 Honda Civic Restomod. If you're just joining me, I am putting a K20 inside of this first generation Honda Civic, a CVCC. I have gotten almost the entire front end completely stripped down, all but just a tiny little bit of pieces. I test fitted the engine in the last episode just to see how it fit in there, and it's really close. I have some leads on a transmission, which is awesome because once I get that transmission, then I can really start to mock it up where it's supposed to go, see where the mounts are supposed to go, line up the axles, all the little stuff, and start doing some of the fun work. So super excited for that. But today I am gonna work on clearing this out, all the small little pieces that are gonna get in the way. You can see a lot of this stuff is just the small little pegs everywhere that was made to hold like cords and wires and whatever running throughout here. I'm not going to be using any of the wiring that was in this originally. And so I don't need those. If I do need something like it, I'll figure out something else. But I want them all gone. I want the battery tray gone. Just a lot of stuff that's intruding on the engine bay that's going to be in the way of the engine and the transmission and mocking that all up. In order to cut out all of the little pieces that I don't want here anymore, I'm going to be using an angle grinder, which creates a lot of sparks. And there's one thing that is still in this engine bay that is not very spark friendly, and that is the fuel lines right here. Now, if you don't know this, you mix spark with fuel, you get combustion, and I don't really want any of that here, at least not now. Maybe once I get the engine in, then combustion is good, at least controlled combustion. But for right now, I do not want to start a fire. I've got a fire extinguisher just in case, so I'm going to clear those up, at least back to the cabin, whatever, and then that should make it so they're out of the way. I'm flying sparks everywhere, I'm totally fine. I definitely expected those fuel lines to be almost completely dry, but there was still a little bit of fuel in one of those. Leaked a little bit, but cleaned it up and I think we're all right. I jammed a screw into the end of these, so I don't like fuel. I'm very scared of booms. I don't want to mess with that right now. I want to do that when I have somebody else here that can help me, just in case, and when I have more time, like on a Saturday or something. But that clears out everything, I think, from the front now, so I'm good to start cutting off some of those clips, the battery tray, and all of that. As always, I am here very late, and it is way too late to be using an angle grinder when there are people like 10 feet away out these doors. But I did manage to get the battery tray cut off and a handful of the little tabs around here. Now the cool thing is, because this is still, I mean, this thing is perfectly balanced as far as, you know, there's no more weight up here. That means I can lift it up and I can actually roll in the engine without the battery tray, and you can see how much better it fits now. More or less, this should go down pretty easily. I think there's still a little bit of issues front to back with the exhaust hitting the firewall, but I know that battery tray was the biggest issue. Look at that. Yeah, that's like almost no problem. It is kind of hitting the firewall still. it does still have to come up like 3 more inches. I'm kind of tempted to pop off the exhaust here. See if I can't fit it around there. Oh, just kidding. I think that'll work. Maybe? Hold, please. I'm gonna try and take the exhaust off. Okay, I tried just taking off the heat shield from the exhaust, and I think that honestly might be enough. So I'm gonna try that. There's a scrape on the firewall here from the bolt hitting, and that's what it took to get it on last time. And I don't really want to force it, but it tells you that just removing that bolt should probably be enough. Maybe? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So from what I've heard, with these K20 swaps, with the few people that have done them in these, heard you have to get the engine all the way up against the side to fit a transmission in here. But it does fit, just barely. Okay, so pushing it up against the side is a little bit more of an issue. But I want to show you what I'm seeing here. This is what I am looking at. It's almost completely up against the side there. I mean, that's probably about as close as it could be in the finished product. Now on the back side, there's quite a bit of room. You can see, headers, is that right? Intake header. The headers kind of go out from the engine rather than like dive down. And so it bumps literally just right there. It's so close. It's to the point where even if I wanted to keep those headers, then I could just shape the firewall for it. And then height-wise, we're just about there. It'd have to come down still maybe 3 more inches or so. These K20s are pretty tall engines. So you can see it pokes out quite a bit where it's at now. I want to say that axle is about right here. So I've got that too, which the transmission will push it back, and I think the axle comes out about right there from the transmission. So it lines up pretty well, actually. It's begging for it. I know it is. And I think I might even end up cutting out those frame rails there too to do the tube frame chassis up here. So honestly, it's going to make even more room because I can potentially clear all the way out to here. And I think I'm good because my wheels, I'm probably going to do a slight wide body, like maybe 1 inch, 2 inches or so. So my wheels can poke out quite a bit. They don't have to be sitting right here still. They can be more like in there. And I think that should be good. But it's crazy to see this. And there really is more room front to back than it makes it look, because the intake too, there's a lot of stuff going on up here. And I do still have to push it back to be able to fit a radiator, maybe an intercooler, all of that fun stuff up here. But I really don't think that'd be an issue. And like I said, back here, it is still going to be front wheel drive. I'm not trying to fit an axle, or not an axle, a drive shaft going down this way. So if I really needed to, I can bell that out a little bit and make room for the exhaust and really put that engine up against the firewall right here. But anyways, that's a little bit more detailed of what I'm seeing. But if you can't tell, I'm super excited just to see it in here and see how well this is going in. And the fact that it's actually going to work. Well, hopefully, if I can figure out what I'm doing. Other people have done it, so I know it is possible, but my skills, I need to factor those in. They are, if you couldn't tell from the video, today was my first time even using an angle grinder, so I'm very new to everything that I'm doing. I've changed a handful of tires in my life, and that's about it. But anyways, that's where I'm going to leave it off for today. Nice short little quick update. I promise I'm working so much more in the background on actually getting the stuff moving for this. Like I said, I have a lead for transmission. I'm hoping to have that next week, but we'll see. It's Facebook Marketplace, so we'll see if it works out and if it's worth the buy. Anyways, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I love hearing from you guys. Seriously, just if you know me, especially if you know me personally, drop a hello. If you don't know me, drop a hello anyways. I'll respond. I'll say what's up. Feel free to find me on other socials, link in bio, and I will see you guys in the next one.